Oh man, there are. I was just looking at. I was just looking at a bunch of states that the minimum wage laws, and yeah, there are. You know, you can look at it. I mean, it's basically what it is, dude. I mean, if you just if you just like, dude, take a wild guess. Take a wild guess what states have the shittiest minimum wages. And you're right, like 90% of the time. But the state I was in before, Arkansas, has, and they were raising it while I was living there. It's now $11. When I was living there, it was like $8, and then the next year is $9, $10, $11, and I was like, shit. And you know what was happening when I was there? There were two things that were happening. One, rent was going up. The other thing that was going up was everything else. And I don't mean like prices. Prices were going up a little bit. I mean, it's like everything else was getting better. Like everything else was getting better around me. I just noticed it. I was like, shit, this place is looking a little nicer. Like, oh, after a couple of years, it was like, oh yeah, they raised the minimum wage laws. That's why shit is getting better. More people are coming here. More people are working here. Because I was kind of in the sticks. I was just outside. I was outside of Little Rock, and I was outside of the suburb of Little Rock. That was nice. I was in kind of a hoodie area. And then I was like, oh, so this area is kind of like white ghetto. It's the white ghetto. I was like, oh, so these people are getting more money now. And they're actually doing better. They are doing better, like noticeably better than they were doing before. Like they can feel it. Like over the course of a couple years, like they are doing noticeably better. And also, you could notice it because like it was just like you could feel it in the air too. Like it was weird. It's weird when you're living in kind of a ghetto how you can just like smell the ghetto getting less ghetto. Some people will know what I'm talking about. If if you've never experienced it, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But keep in mind, they were still ghetto experiences. I could talk about some of them. Now, I haven't lived there in a few years, It's going on 2 years now. So there's still ghetto stuff that happens there. I guarantee it. These people are not refined socialites. Not yet. That will probably take another generation or so, maybe 4. But it was, like I said, I don't know. Yeah. Arkansas was an experience for sure. That was interesting. And I spent like, I don't even know, 90%. Actually, it was 95 plus percent of the time in my apartment. More time in my apartment there than in here. Than here. So like I spend more time outside here than I did fucking there. So I bet if I was like outside doing stuff, I'd be able to give I'd be able to like talk more about it. But like, yeah, this place is you know this place is poor, but it's just poor. A lot of it. It's not poor all over, but it's a small town, and there are a lot of poor parts. But I don't know. I don't feel like I'm in danger here. It's just kind of poor. With an infusion of money from somewhere, money in general, and care, money and heart, love. I've walked through some areas and I'd say, the, I walked through some areas. This is a bit of a tangent now. I'm going somewhere. Well, this is kind of a total rant video, by the way. If where I walked through, these people own their properties and don't rent them, if they own their shit and don't rent it, they would, they'd probably have to do like, it's like, in my opinion, that, it's like you need to clean up your house, but I don't know. It's your property. If you want your lawn looking like that, I mean, it's your lawn. You know, if you want your lawn looking like a junkyard, I mean, dude, it's your lawn. You know, you can have it looking like a got junk junkyard. That's fine. I'm just saying, like it kind of puts off the message that you don't respect yourself. But I mean, look at my apartment. Maybe you're just a collector. I don't know. If I could, I wouldn't have like almost all of this shit in here right now. Almost all of it would not be here. Especially, you see the tip of my cigarette, that collection of baseball cards and stuff. I want to get rid of that. I just don't know where. I don't know how to get rid of it. I want to get rid of it. I don't know where the fuck. I don't have a car, and I don't know where to sell it. So it's fucking right there. It's just sitting there. And there are other things here that I want to get rid of that I don't. I'm just waiting for an opportunity to get rid of it. Like, I'm assuming it'll come eventually. I'm just waiting for it. Just it'll come. I'm hoping. I'm not trying to actively like. I'm not trying to be like, because some of this shit I have tried to get rid of, and people just will not fucking take it. Like, nobody will take it. Like those buckets of candy, I've tried to give those away like 3 times now. Nobody will fucking take it. People just won't take the candy. I'm like, dude, it's candy. Like, you don't want it? Like, it's free candy. Just take it. You're like, I don't. I mean, I guess you don't want candy from a stranger, but whatever. I'm like, ooh, you poisoned the candy. Psst, whatever. I got rid of the first bucket by like getting rid of like some handfuls and stuff at the place I bought it, at the dollar store I bought it. Right when I bought it, I was like, I just grabbed a handful out and I was just like, just take this and give it away and shit. And like, I don't know, like I did that at a few places. And I was just like, here, take this. Here, take this. I have this. I managed to get like 90+% of that bucket away. Now I just got a full bucket. I can't give that away. I want the buckets. I was going to use the buckets for something. That's why I bought the candy. I wanted to use the buckets. I just want the buckets. That's all. I don't want the fucking candy. The mints. What am I getting? I'm going to eat mints. So, whatever. What did I start out talking about, anyways? Uh, oh, yeah, minimum wage. That's what I started talking about. And I started, so to get back onto minimum wage, sorry, I totally went off on a fucked up tangent, but I do that. I started looking up minimum wage because I was thinking about minimum wage because there was one of the Illinois Democrats running for some primary, I don't know which one, but one of her campaign things was she wanted to raise the minimum wage to $25 an hour. And I was just like, I saw that and I'm like, wow. Even for me, and I was just like, shit, $25 an hour minimum wage, shit. So I was just like, damn. Even for someone like me who is like, I'm really like lefty liberal shit, I was like, damn, $25 an hour. So then I was like, I'm like, yeah, $15 an hour. That's pretty high, but like, okay, that's doable and acceptable, and that would pretty much put because I'm 43, so I'm from an era where like I'm still from an era where the opinion of a minimum wage thing is like it is kind of like I'm still working out, trying to like get out of the mindset that like a minimum wage job and minimum wage is paired with a person that is just like a scum person and like fuck that person and fuck that job and why does our society have to like put uh you know care that that person's income is you know at a good level. I don't know how to word it, but like like whatever. $25 an hour. What would if they're working? Come on, you fucking phone. Calculator. 25 times 40 is $1,000 a week times 52. Yeah, $25 an hour comes out to $52,000. That's a $50,000. That's a 50K earner. Um, so minimum wage at $25 an hour would versus 15, whatever. $15 an hour is already 30K. Well, it's 31 too. So 31.2 versus 52K. That is a significant pay bump. Um, so it's just, even for me, it's just, you know, hard to make that mental adjustment. But, yeah, whatever. Fuck you, Amazon. Oh, yeah, that's right. I got two calls that come on recent. Hmm. Hmm. Shit. Uh, yeah, it's, I don't know. Because I want everyone to get paid good. I do. I'm also just wondering if that $25 an hour thing isn't like a negotiating tactic. If she actually wants it to be like $20 an hour, or like she wants it to be, because I neglected to say the minimum wage in Illinois is now $15 an hour. So I'm wondering if she actually is aiming for like $18 an hour or something like that. $20 an hour. If she just wants to get like a few more, like if she would be happy with 20 or, something like that. But she's just like, I want $25 an hour. But she'd be happy with a little bit less, you know. And then she'll be like, well, I wanted to do this, but we negotiated and I was still able to get blah, blah, blah. It wasn't everything we got, but as this, we were still able to get a significant pay raise for minimum wage earners. In my ideal society, my ideal is essentially, employers hire you and they see you're good, they give you a raise, and they see that guy over there is shitty, and they fire him, and they hire the next guy, and they rinse repeat until they got a good staff. And I don't know, every quarter they give everybody a raise. Why? Because as a manager, keeping your people on board is, I don't know how many managers there may be watching the video, but keeping your good people on board it just prevents you from going through the hassle of having to hire somebody else, because you lose that person and have to hire another person. You have to train them and do all that stuff, and maybe they suck, and then you have to fire them and roll the dice that they're good or they're shitty, and have to fire them, and blah 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 blah. I know this from experience of working, and especially with minimum wage jobs where the total staff is like, let's say, 3 to 6 people. If your total staff is like 4 or 5 people, and you manage to have 4 or 5 good people, you really, really, really don't want one of them leaving, because it's like you're like it took me. You're like, oh, it took me 5 years of cycling through shitty people to get these 5 people that are actually good, show up for work. If they don't show up for work, I can call one of the other guys and they will come. I know they'll come. I'll call them, they'll be like, fine, I'll come in. They'll be there in 30 minutes. These people are good. And the one that didn't show up, they didn't show up for a good reason. They say they're sick. They're actually sick. They're not fucking around with me. Their kid is sick. They can't do this. It's an actual reason. This crew is not fucking around with me. They're actually here. In a bigger operation where you have 50, 60, 100 employees, you can afford to have 5, 10 people that kind of suck. You can afford to have slackers. You can afford to not fire people as much. You can afford to have an HR department that kind of sucks. smaller operation, you gotta you gotta be good. You gotta be good. So yeah, there you go. Of course, the last gas station I worked at, they did not like to give out raises. They didn't really give out a raise unless you asked, because they were dicks. Not our boss, but you know, regional manager. You had to be like, ugh, you had to like go to him. That's why my boss quit. My boss quit because his job sucked. He was always bitching about his job. He's like, my job sucks. He was always like, his job sucks. He hates his job. I could see it on his face too. You can just see it on some people's face. It's shitty when you can see it on your boss's face of like a broken, worn down man. When your boss is just like, it's just like, it's just bad. Then he leaves his job and he gets a much better job, like a much better job, much better pay, better hours, better benefits, better everything. It's like good for you. I'm glad. I'm glad life worked out for you a little bit. Yeah. All right. That's the end of this rant for Did Ant. Did Ant rant. Um, so tax rich people, ball punch rich people, and boobs, 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 boobs.